Hey everyone, and welcome. So, you're trying to break into the incredibly competitive world of cybersecurity. You know as well as I do that just being good isn't enough. You have to stand out. Today, we're going to walk through a powerful playbook that'll take you from a home lab all the way to a killer LinkedIn profile that actually gets you hired. So, let's just cut to the chase, right? The big question: how do you actually land one of those top-tier cybersecurity jobs? You see a posting, it has hundreds, sometimes thousands of applicants. How in the world do you get noticed? Well, the answer isn't what you might think. Look, certifications are great, they're important, but they are not the golden ticket. What recruiters and hiring managers are really starving for is proof. Tangible, undeniable proof that you can actually do the job. All right, so here's our game plan. We've got a 3-step playbook. First, we're going to master the craft. Then we'll talk about how to build your proof. And finally, how to amplify your signal so the right people hear you. And stick around for the end, because we're going to tie it all together with something called your career kill chain. First up, master the craft. This is your foundation. This is everything. It means you've got to move past just reading the textbook and get your hands dirty. Real, practical projects are what show you have actual skills. Theory is one thing, but hands-on experience? That's what gets you in the door. Okay, check this out for a high-impact project. Imagine building an automated incident response workflow right in AWS. So guard duty, which is basically a smart threat detector, finds something suspicious. Instantly, it triggers an event bridge rule. That rule then kicks off a Lambda function that, boom, automatically changes a security group to isolate the compromised machine and even stops the instance. And to top it off, it sends an alert through SNS to the security team. Now that is an impressive project that shows a hiring manager you get it. And another fantastic way to build up that muscle memory is with penetration testing labs. When you work through these challenges, you're not just reading about cross-site scripting or SQL injection, you are doing it. You're learning firsthand how these vulnerabilities work, which is exactly what companies are desperate for. All right, you've put in the hours, you've built some amazing things, now what? Well, that brings us to step 2, building your proof. Because, and this is key, doing the work is only half the battle. You have to document it in a professional way that shows other people what you've achieved. I absolutely love this quote because it's so true. A project without documentation is just a hobby. But when you create a professional write-up, like a detailed pen test report, you transform that exercise into a powerful portfolio piece that a recruiter can actually look at and say, wow, this person knows their stuff. And when you're writing about these projects on your resume, you have to stop just listing responsibilities. Nobody cares what you did. They care what you achieved. Use the problem action result method. Don't just say you worked on incident response. Instead, say you reduced incident response time by 40% by implementing an automated workflow. You see the difference? The numbers, the action verbs, that's impact. So where does all this amazing proof live? Your GitHub. Seriously, think of your GitHub as your technical command center. It's the one place you can send a hiring manager to see your code, your scripts, and your detailed reports. It becomes the single source of truth for your technical skills. Okay, we've got the skills, we've got the proof. Now for the final crucial piece of the puzzle, amplifying your signal. You could be the most talented person out there, but if no one knows you exist, it doesn't matter. This is all about building a professional brand and making yourself discoverable. Let's start with the resume. You might be surprised to hear this, but for entry-level roles, a massive 60% of your resume's real estate should be focused on your skills and certifications. Why? Because recruiters are scanning for keywords for the technologies you used in those projects we talked about. That's what gets you past the first filter. Next up, your LinkedIn headline. Think of this as your personal billboard. Please stop using cybersecurity enthusiast. It doesn't mean anything. Be specific. A headline like aspiring SOC analyst with keywords like proactive threat detection. That tells a recruiter exactly who you are and what you want to do. It is so much more powerful. And that awesome project write-up you did, don't just let it collect dust on GitHub. You've got to repurpose that gold. Turn it into a professional post on LinkedIn, write a more detailed article about it on Medium. This is a game changer because it not only gets more eyes on your work, but it also proves you have strong communication skills, which is a huge plus for any company. All right, let's tie all of this together with a really powerful idea. To really win at the job search, you can use a framework you probably already know. It's all about applying a hacker's mindset. We're all familiar with the cyber kill chain, right? It's that framework that breaks down a cyber attack into clear, logical stages, from the initial recon all the way to the final objective. It's a structured, methodical way to achieve a goal.
So here's the pivot, the big idea. What if you took that exact same strategic stage-by-stage framework and you pointed it at your own job search? What would that actually look like?
It would look just like this, your very own job search kill chain. Reconnaissance, that's you researching the roles and companies you want. Weaponization, that's crafting your payload, your killer resume, and that proof-packed GitHub. Delivery is you applying to jobs and networking like a pro. Exploitation, that's you walking into that interview and absolutely nailing it by showing your value. And the final stage, actions on objectives, that's you accepting the job offer. That is your playbook. Go run it.